I'm Kelly Mitchell, and this is Women on Wine TV, a weekly online show celebrating wine and living your best life. We highlight and sip luscious wines while discussing lifestyle, travel, and of course, wine. Filmed from our California and Washington studios and on location, we pepper our interviews with fabulous tastemakers from all walks of life. Joining me today is my partner in wine, Debra Trapin. Welcome to the show, Debra.
Merci, my darling. How are you?
I am fabulous, très magnificent, darling. It's so
Ooh.
good to see you. And today we're talking about home for fall. Now, this is going to be a very interesting episode. Shall I share why, Debra?
Yes, make the world laugh like you made me laugh.
Okay. So when I got when I got the topic shared with me, Deborah and I usually share notes about the things we like to talk about with specific episodes. So the topic that Deborah chose for this episode was the home for fall. There's one thing missing. In 36 years, I have not experienced a true fall. I landed in Northern California in November, the dead of winter. So I know how to scream into winter and land, but I do not know how to trip into fall gracefully. So please bear with me while Deborah educates me and we have some banter about fall and what it encompasses. And tell me, what did I say in my notes? Because I know you saw my notes and you thought they were hilarious. I do not remember exactly what I said, except for, oh my God.
Well, you basically said, oh my God, I have no idea. Research needed. Wear a jacket, question mark.
Oh my goodness. And I'm
about how to warm up your home for fall. You know, kind of summer, we kind of strip everything away and we try and make everything super clean and beachy, you know, kind of like your house. I mean, you live in a beach house, even though you're in Marin. I mean, you've really decorated your home very beachy. Right? So you were like, wear a jacket? And I just about died. It was so funny. I guess I hadn't thought about it because really you haven't been living on the mainland for a year yet. And so you actually haven't experienced kind of the transitional, like the cool weather is starting to come in and the changes. So I love it.
It's going to be crazy. I can feel it already. Okay, so before we get started, though, we want to introduce our quote. Once we hit 40, women only have about 4 taste buds left. One for vodka, one for wine, one for cheese, and one for chocolate. That comes to us from Gina Barreca. And it's true.
That is hilarious.
So I would love to open the show with, and our word for the show is fall. What do we do when we hear the word fall, Deborah?
We take a sip, Kelly.
Woohoo! A sip of what?
Of what is in our glass, which is hopefully vino.
Yes, ideally it's vino. If you've had too much vino, it's okay to divert. But for those of us who haven't had enough or never get enough, it's never okay to divert. And on that note, what is in your glass, darling?
Well, we are filming this in September. And I know we like to go evergreen, but you know what? Sometimes it's just fun to celebrate the moment. And it's California Wine Month.
Ooh.
So I am drinking, can you see this? Porque
no. Is there a chihuahua that comes with that?
So do you have any idea what porque no means?
If you please.
It means why not?
Oh, darling, now you're speaking my language.
So let me just tell you a little bit about this wine. So Porque No is the name of the wine. The winery is Tres Sabores, which is Spanish for 3 flavors. And the winemaker at Tres Sabores is Julie Johnson. She is a lovely. She is a boomer who is just loving and living her dream. She toured me around the property when I was down there a couple years ago, and you could just tell, you know, when people are doing what they're meant to do, just this passion oozes out of them. Well, she has it. So Julie walked us around the property and she was explaining that the three flavors that are in Tres Sabores are, the first one is the terroir, right? So the earth, the dirt, where the actual wine is growing. The second is the vine, and that's all the elements that the vine takes from the elements and from the earth and where it comes from. So the vine, and then the third, which I love, is the artisan, so the winemaker. And when she was explaining it, she actually kind of took it to the next level and talked about like it's about the winemaker and all the experiences they've had that they bring to this wine. And so Tres Sabores is really a culmination and a collaboration between the earth, the foliage or the vine, and the people who are drinking it, growing it, and participating in experiencing it. And so I love this wine for so many reasons, but of course, like, just why not? Right, come on now. Now, one of the cool things about this winery is they have sheep that kind of graze, and hello, they graze. So anyways, it's Zin, Petit Syrah, Cab, and Petit Verdot, which we all know and love all of these varietals. And so it just creates this beautiful blend that truly, and I agree with what it says on the label, this is a wine you will love with anything or anyone you love.
Ooh.
It's so true. Andrew and I have had many bottles of Porcano over the last few years, and every time we open it, it's something a little different. This time, it was a little smokier, and it almost had like a sweet pea smell to it. So, and that was very different than the first time we opened it. So I cheer you with Tres Sabores. They are at Tres Sabores, TRESSABORES, TresSabores.com, and at Tres Sabores on Twitter. Yay!
Yay! That's awesome. That was very well done. And what are you pairing it with?
Well, as it says, you can pair it with just about anything or anyone. However, what we recently had it with was Mexican food. And Mexican food is very hard to pair with wine, unless you're going with something that's sangria-like, right?
Yes.
This was perfect with the pork enchiladas with a little green sauce and a Mexican-style guacamole, which is more like pico de gallo with chunks of guacamole in it.
Delicious.
It was so delicious, and it's got just enough spice, and like I said, it has a little sweet pea, and it had this smoky. Oh, yum.
It sounds absolutely fabulous.
Perfect for the fall. What's in your glass, Kelly? Fall.
So in my glass, since it's still very warm, it's still very warm here, even though it was like high of 65 in the city. It's like in the mid to late 70s, and the sun is beating down on drought-ridden California. But in my glass today is a, even though it's California Wine Month, it's September 2nd, and it's early. So I went to Oregon, Willamette Valley, and I was hanging out with Joel Gott and his wines. Actually, I wasn't hanging out with him, but I have his wine, so that's as close as I've gotten thus far. This is a 2014. It is very bright on the nose. It's got these wonderful stone fruit aromas, and it's kind of like a, it's like roses. It's like there's roses in there. I don't know if that's the exact flower, but it's super balanced, excruciatingly smooth to the point of, is this really wine, or could this be grape juice? Not grape juice on the sweet side, but grape juice. I could drink it all night long and not recognize that I was intoxicated. It's so easy to drink. It also has some wonderful lemon citrus flavors and a nice heady finish. Absolutely love it. So you can follow Joel Gott at Joel Gott on Twitter. You can go to gottwines.com and find out what fabulousness I'm drinking this fall. And pairing. Now, because I've shared with you the essence of the wine, you're probably guessing that it pairs with just about anything, which is true. However, because of its well-balanced nature, I would pair it with something a little bit on the interesting, complex side because it'll stand up to that. It's not a crazy multifaceted wine. It's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. So I'm pairing my wine tonight with garam masala crusted chicken with fig jus. And you can find that on our Pinterest board as well as womenonwine.tv.
I love it. So as the resident Pac Northwest gal, I must say it's Willamette Valley. Remember Willamette?
Will I am. Didn't you teach me that?
Damn it. Willamette, damn it. Just want the world to know.
No, I appreciate it. So it's a Willamette.
Willamette, damn it.
Willamette.
Yes.
Willamette, damn it. Okay, got it.
See,
damn it. Are we allowed to swear on this show?
Boom. I love it. So I love this conversation because fall is my #1 favorite season. I call it autumn because I love the word autumn. But fall is pretty much the traditional. So the autumnal equinox, just the lighting this time of year, the leaves starting to kind of get that little bit of yellow and bright orange and radiant red. It's just like, I love it. It is the season that just to me is about taking a moment, and you entertain in your home more. You definitely tend to kind of hibernate a bit more than you do in the summer months when everyone's outside and they're on the lake and they're playing in the water and hiking up the mountains. And so the first thing I think of when I think of like preparing my home or warming up my home is I think about my dining room. And I think my centerpiece has got to change. And I think that there's so many fun things and so many great ideas on Pinterest. We do have a Pinterest board, of course. But change up your centerpieces. Change up that presentation. Most of us have a dining room that's somewhat close to when we enter our home. So it's part of a focal point when somebody walks into your home. So add some depth and some fall to it. Of course, I think about pumpkins. I always think about pumpkins. If I could have pumpkins in my home all year long, I would totally have pumpkins in my house all year long because I love them. I love them. I love them right from the start of September and October, and I glitterize them for November and December. I mean, it's just like, bring it on. Now, how do pumpkins work where you were from? Like in Hawaii, did you actually have pumpkins?
So, of course we had pumpkins. We have them shipped from the mainland.
Oh,
Probably like Christmas trees. They come out on, 40 containers or maybe 100 containers, and then they get unloaded, and then they're like fresh for about 5 minutes after they get out of the container, and then they begin to turn. So it's like you don't get your pumpkins until a week before Halloween. If you get them too much in advance, well, first of all, you have to decide, are you going to carve them or not? Because if you carve them, they're going to be sure to rot. If you don't carve them, they'll last a little bit longer, but they will still rot. And it's the same like Christmas trees. So it's so hot there and everything gets shipped in that and how do we even know it's autumn? We have to go, okay, what's happening on the mainland? You literally physically have to think, okay, what month is it? What happens in that month? The trees turn colors. So it's September right now, and I'm not seeing any trees turn colors. So what's up with that?
Well, we've got a little bit until that actually starts happening. It's happening a little bit here in the Pac Northwest, but we have very different weather than you.
Okay.
So just give it a little bit. Be a little patient.
Okay.
Some other things I think that are fun with preparing your home with pumpkins for.
Well, I want to know when I should buy my pumpkin. When are they going to be ready?
Well, you could probably start buying your pumpkin in a few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say give it a little bit here. But you'll feel it. You'll start to see it. Your Trader Joe's will start having big, huge, ton boxes out in front of it with all the pumpkins inside.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. But when I think of fall, I actually think about many other things that are related to pumpkins than just actual physical pumpkin. And that's candles, pumpkin candles. Oh my God, I love pumpkin candles.
Pumpkin candles.
Oh my gosh, yes. Go to your local pumpkin or your local candle store. Like, do you have a Ross close to you, or
Yes.
like a home store? I mean, you could go to the more expensive, but I say just go to the Ross and get them inexpensive. Pumpkin candles, pumpkin scented candles. It smells like pumpkin pie. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pumpkin, so pumpkin pie candles, bread, pumpkin bread. I make this delicious pumpkin chocolate chip bread. It is so delicious. Oh, and by the way, you
So
could
you
pick
are posting the recipe,
it
right?
is on the board. It is on the board, and I also suggest an off-dry Riesling with it. It's delicious. It's actually a great kind of fall dessert, something a little different, right? I also think of soups, right? Lots and lots and lots of soups and lots of pumpkin-based soups, but not just inside. Actually, the bowl is a pumpkin. So when you carve out the pumpkin to make the pumpkin soup, you can use the pumpkin body for the soup bowl.
So now how do you know if the pumpkin is okay to, like I've heard that there are some pumpkins made for cooking and some that are not made for cooking. So how do you know if it's just a carving pumpkin or if it's a cooking pumpkin? Does it have a label?
Well, sometimes they have labels. They actually have now I don't know if there's some kind of funky hybrid, but they have ones that are called pumpkin pie pumpkins, and they're smaller and they're brighter. I've always just used a regular old pumpkin for it, but now they have all these beautiful kind of like organic, all like funky shaped squash pumpkin hybrids that are beautiful, but I don't think I'd eat them, and I certainly wouldn't use them for pumpkin pie. If you've got a question, I'm sure that the guy or gal that runs
Trader Joe's dude knows.
ask the Trader Joe's dude.
Okay.
How about you? What do you got on your list?
So
You have a list?
Coat. No. So I'm kind of thinking like this is similar to, so winter in Hawaii, it can get down to, the low 70s, high 60s. If you're in the mountains, maybe the 50s. But I'm thinking like you guys do some similar things to what we do or what we did when I was them, but now I'm you. So I'm learning. Did that make sense?
Oh my goodness.
So I'm thinking like you get your pantry ready for the meals that you're going to be cooking, because nothing goes better with winter, no matter where you are, whether it's Hawaii or it's Seattle, than a great stew. So it's like busting out the crock pot, getting your pantry ready. So having canned tomatoes, the broths that you make soups with, beans, what else? Rice.
So I also stock up a lot on frozen vegetables.
So what do you do with the frozen vegetables?
So frozen sweet corn, frozen green beans. I use those in stews. I mean, you don't need to go out and spend the ridiculous amount it costs to have a fresh vegetable that you're going to stew. That makes no sense. So
very good point.
Go to Trader Joe's, they even actually have kind of like succotash type mixtures that are frozen that have, cauliflower and broccoli and soybeans, and some of them even have lima beans and all sorts of craziness in it that you just open it up and put it inside. And there's great value to those, and they're of course less expensive on the pocketbook, so you have more money for one.
Very good tip. Okay, can I tell you what's keeping me up late at night right now about
the fall?
Yeah.
What?
And like a little concerned. So there was this like wonderful thing that happened just at the end of spring. Maybe it was a little bit earlier than that in spring that I remember this year. And that was all of a sudden the lights stay on until 9 p.m. Like the sun is up until 9 p.m. Whereas in Hawaii, it would go to bed at 6 or 6:30. Like winter was 6 and 6:30 in summer. So I'm a little worried about what time it's going to get dark. And then what do you do with all that time when you're in the house?
Wow. Well, you have probably about an additional 90 to 120 extra minutes than we do of light.
Yay.
So during the summer, up here in Seattle, it's light from about 4:30 to 9:30 or 10:30.
In the morning, 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, it starts like the birds start tweeting.
That's crazy.
But during the fall and really when you get into the winter, it doesn't get light until 9 o'clock and it gets dark at 4 in the afternoon. Like, so remember, we're close, super close to Alaska, which is like, sometimes it's all dark all day. So we actually, here in the Pacific Northwest, we go into hibernation season. So this is when we get a lot of projects done.
Cut off the neighbors.
Yeah, actually, pretty much like most of the socializing kind of goes, it comes down maybe even to just with your neighbors. There's not a whole lot of like, let's go out and meet somewhere, because you're trudging home from work for most people, not us, of course, in the dark. And so
we're trudging home from our home offices all the way down the stairs.
Yes, exactly. Across the lawn and across the stairs. But like Drew gets home and he's spent, 40 plus minutes in the dark driving home. And so I think there's like a trigger that happens when you're in the dark like that, where you're like, okay, it's time to go home and cuddle in and open a bottle of wine and turn on the fireplace and chill. And so I think you have to shift your activities. I think you do more in less time because there is more chill time, which I love, right? I think that's just wonderful.
Cozier, yeah.
Yes, but it is dangerous if you don't have a workout regime already in place for the fall and winter, because you can put on an extra layer.
I am trying to get off my extra layer right now. So yeah. I will be diligent about that until I have a sub layer, and then I can add a layer over the winter. So I've got a lot of work to do. Okay, so I'm thinking like one of the things that's coming up is, so there is some entertaining that's happening in the home, right?
Yes.
Because the holidays are coming. And so we need to look at what one of the things that I've never really done, because I was always too crazy busy, and because the sun was always on in Hawaii and the weather was always warm, I didn't spend a lot of time baking because we always were out on the boat or in the pool or, enjoying the weather. And that sort of thing. So I'm kind of looking forward to winter as a time where I can actually get back to some baking.
I bet. So there's a couple of things in there. So one is there's something in the States called Croctober.
What?
And we'll probably do an episode about that. So I won't go too deep into it, but it is all types of crock pots.
I have a crock pot. I'm so proud. I finally have a crock pot.
Yes, I will admit I have a kind of a crock pot obsession. I have 5 crock pots.
What do you use 5 for? Or is this an episode?
You can make an entire meal in crock pots.
I thought you did, but you just, so are you making like 5 meals at once?
No, I mean like you can make cornbread and chili and a dessert all in their own crock pots.
Really?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Cornbread.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you would not believe the things that you can make inside a crock pot.
Stay tuned for a future episode of Women on Wine TV, where you will learn how to make cornbread in a crock pot.
Yes. That's so funny.
I love it.
But yeah, I think for me, when I think about like the entertaining and the food and the crock pots and all of that, I think about even adding in different spices like cloves and cinnamon, and like kind of bringing in different scents into my food and different flavors into my food that aren't necessarily heavier. They just kind of shift. They give they take you to that different place. When you think of cloves and cinnamon, you're thinking of pumpkin pies and Christmas trees, and you're kind of shifting the mind with that scent. So I have this funny little thing that I used to do when I was a real estate agent, when I actually sold houses, that I would have this little tiny glass bowl that was microwave safe, and I'd put a little water in it, and I'd put a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon in it, and I'd put it in the microwave. I'd microwave it for about 90 seconds. And then
in water?
In water. So cinnamon in
Yummy.
water in the microwave. 90 seconds, and then I'd open the door and it would be like I just baked cookies. It was like the cinnamon smell would waft through the house. And I love the smell of real cinnamon. I
Yes.
can't stand the fake cinnamon. You know that funky, like sweet cinnamon that's on those pine cones at the grocery store? Ugh. Like that's just me.
That is the worst.
It really is. But like just adding those fun little things, and the how that's super inexpensive, and it's, you know, just kind of creates that feeling in your home.
Yes.
For sure. So that's, you know, yeah, kind of around the food thing. I love to just start adding things like that. Even in some of the normal things that I make all year long, for sure. Just zipping it up.
I love it. I'm like, so one of the things that gives me heart palpitations is packing up the outdoor furniture.
Well, you're not going to have to do that so much because you're still in California.
Okay.
So it's not like here.
Okay.
So you'll be able to leave it out.
It doesn't snow here usually.
Yeah, it's not, and it doesn't, I mean, it's not going to rain a ton. You might want to have covers over it, but those are fairly inexpensive, but you can still have your furniture out. And what a good point about that is you can kind of bring fall into your backyard or onto your porch by just creating little scenes. Like instead of in your flower boxes right now, you might have, you know, big, beautiful pink and purple flowers. Well, switch to grasses and those beautiful lettuce and mums and put a couple of pumpkins in there. Like you can actually create fall inside your flower boxes.
I love that.
And so, and even on your tables outside, I mean, you've got some cute outdoor space, and it's just about thinking like, how can I take that little element that might be pink or purple or even red right now and switch to something that's orange or yellow or like a Cabernet wine color and just give it that switch to that fall foliage. And I think that's just the fun part, is it's just about taking out the part that looks like the summer and replacing it with a piece that looks like fall. And again, pumpkins are a super easy way to do that. Back into the house, the velvety throw pillows or just the big fluffy pillows, you know, it's just, you don't need a jacket inside, Kel, but a throw blanket is nice.
I definitely need a jacket. Well, maybe not a jacket, but something like a sweater or something.
Exactly. Something's yummy. Or turn your fireplace on. You know, I mean, we kind of defocus the fireplace this time of year. You know, we don't use it. It's turned off. But man, clean off your fireplace mantle and add in, again, use cute little lights. We have these adorable little white and orange lights. So they don't look like Christmas. They're orange, but they're perfect this time of year because they add a beautiful glow, but they switch it up, right? It's like it takes it from this super clean space to orange and this creamy color, and of course adding candles in again and fall foliage. Corn husks, hello, you can put corn in your house. How fun is this? Now come on. Corn. Oh my gosh, the little bunches of like the Indian corn that all super colorful. Oh, wait until you see
this.
What
do you do with it? What do you do with the corn?
You use it as a decoration. So
like, how do you decorate with corn?
Yeah, we have some, we'll have some photos on Pinterest for sure. Let's talk your language. How about this? How about a cork wreath on the front door?
That would be very cool. Maybe you could put some corn husks intertwined with that, or a little bit on the top.
Yeah, you could
cork wreath. See, you're amazing. Speaking my language, I love it.
But cork wreath, and we have a fun cork project on the page as well.
Yes.
And for you, you know, inside the beachy theme, you don't have to use the orange pumpkins. There's cute white pumpkins this time of year. So you can still keep with your...
Do you have any red ones?
No, but there's something called spray paint.
I love it. Oh my God. Do you know how long we've gone on this episode?
I bet we've just been talking and talking and talking because it's such a fun episode talking about, you know, creating a warm, comfy home.
It totally is. I'm hoping when you're out here, we can get in the kitchen a little bit. because I think that that would be a blast. And I think we can share some recipes. And I don't know about 5 crock pots. You may want to bring one with you because I only have one. but I think we should do some like on-air cooking. What do you think about that?
That would be fun. I think that I would say to our audience, do you want to see us cook?
Yes, you want to see us cook and cocktail at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
You guys.
As long as we have big, beautiful sunflowers in the space, I'm ready. Let's do it.
That sounds awesome. And we want to remind everybody before Debra winds up in the closing that we're open to ideas about wine, women, and food and lifestyle. So if you have an idea or a topic you'd like to see us address, please email us or post it in the comments on YouTube and let us know. We're happy to accommodate.
I love it. I love it. Well, I think that's a wrap. So as always, thank you so much for sharing time with us here at Women on Wine TV. We love having you here. And we hope we gave you some fun ideas to warm up your home for the fall. You know, adding interesting centerpieces, adding in a little pumpkin, a little spice, some sunflowers, blankets, grass, all sorts of wonderful things to make your home feel super comfortable. Oh, and corn. Decorating with corn 101 for Kelly coming up soon. As always, share your tips and tricks on warming up your home this time of year with the hashtag #PoundWomenOnWine and connect with us at Women on Wine TV on all of the back channels on social media. Until next time, we wish you delicious wine in your divine wine glasses. Until then, bisous.
Bisous. And thanks for joining us. TTFN.
Pumpkin.